We are doing SmartSuite introduction. This is for all the people that have upgraded to SmartSuite or thinking about going to SmartSuite or have taken on SmartSuite but never really sat in on an in-service. Okay, the best place to start with SmartSuite is the landing page. Okay, so if you're landing on a home page, okay, or you're landing on the schools page, but you really prefer to land on the schools page, it's very, very important for you to tell us where exactly you want to land. Now, quite frankly, just a lesson on history, when we actually upgraded the Yahoo website, you'll notice that Yahoo had a whole bunch of information that was totally irrelevant to what you were wanting to do. But it was their way of promoting and marketing and generating interests. And so they had a homepage, and their search engine became a secondary issue. And of course, Google came along, and what Google did is this. Give you a blank screen and said, tell me what you want. And so you could be in Google and you can type in, I want cat. What have you got on cat? Or I want how to change a spare tire. You could put in whatever you want and you got exactly what you wanted. And you didn't have to go through pages and pages of incidentals that someone thought was important. And so we're talking about the inquiry screen or the opaque landing page. If this isn't your landing page, talk to us. It'll take us literally a couple of seconds to set it up. And what will happen is this will be your landing page moving forward. Now, what is on this landing page? Because I can see I've got all this material here. I've got a scroll bar. When I scroll down over here, I can go load more, and then it will load more information. And as I keep loading more and more information, more and more books will come up. So what exactly am I getting on here? Or if I search for cat, okay, then all the results for my kind of search would come up, and it'll bring up my resources, and I've got that bar and I can scroll down. So what does it mean? What are all these results? It's very important that you understand what's happening. So on the landing page, whenever anyone ever gets onto the system and they just log into the system, okay, what they're going to be displayed with is this was the last most current item that was added to the collection. The newest item, in other words. That's the second newest and the third newest and the fourth newest. And if I add another 3 books, everything will shuffle down 3. If I add another 7 books, shuffle down 7. If I add another 2 videos, shuffle down 2. So whenever anyone goes into your system, what's here is always what's new. And also, what you can see, you've got the title, you've got the holdings, you've got the location, you've got the sublocation. But you can say, no, I just want all the titles. That's it. And I want everything to appear like that. Okay. Now, by the way, you might decide, no, I want it like this. And I want it top down. Exactly the same results, just presented a different way. And believe it or not, there are so many ways for you to work with. The default is that 4 square box. That's the default. And what you display in here is also configurable. And the size of this entire section, you might want to just say, no, I want that to take up the entire screen. Well, you can. It can take up the entire screen. Okay. And it can be just the titles, or you can click on here and that will give you more than just the titles. It'll give you all this other information. So what I'm trying to say is that once you come to SmartSuite, we give you, the manager of the resource center, massive amount of flexibility to make your experience for the user whatever you want to make it. And if you're a P212 school and for primaries you want this kind of screen, for the others you want a different kind of screen, tell us what you're trying to achieve, and we can have 5 different OPACs or 15 different OPACs to suit different type of interest areas. Okay, so it's very, very flexible. Now, when you click on an item, the information about the item will appear here. If that item that author was featured on Google, you'll get a G, and if you click on that G, it'll take you to that author's website. If the book itself was featured on the web, you may not realize it, but that book and its Google review will make it available by giving you that, and you click on that, it'll give you the Google review. You can even limit what information is shown here. That's how flexible it is. You can change the color of the background, you can change the layout of the system. You'll be amazed at all the changes you can do to your OPAC. Very simple, very quick. Play around, you can't damage it. One click of a button, we can restore everything to you. If you've gone ahead and done so many changes and you just can't, I want to start from the beginning again, you can do that too. Okay, so that's on the inquiry screen side of it. And if you are a first-time user, the very first thing that you need to be aware of is patrons. How do I add patrons, change patrons, classify patrons, categorize patrons? So when you click on the patrons, you go down to Patron Management. When you go to Patron Management, it's a very simply easy to use screen. Very simple. Okay, there's all your information. We've categorized them into different areas and different compartments, but 99% of people are only interested in the barcode, the username, the first name, the surname, email address, then the security of the patron, which I'll talk to in a minute, classification, homeroom, and the role that they have. Okay, so let's have a look at another patron. So here's John Stewart, and that's John Stewart's number. So John can access this by logging in with that number. His barcode could be the administration number. We couldn't care less. You can put anything here and you can use that. John can use that to log in. He can also log in with his email address. And why not, if you're a primary school, have the first name dot surname. And now what you've done is John can log into the system using that, or using that, or using that. So he has 3 different ways of logging in. And of course, if your school is single sign-on, you can also single sign-on that way. Now, when you need to put a person on, you need the barcode, you need the first name, you need the surname, you need a class grade and a homeroom. And his role by default is a student. Okay? And of course, you need to give him a password. Now, if you give them a password, you can say, do not allow them to change their password. So click on the change button. And when you click on that change button, you give him a password. You allocate him the same password. You validate it. Okay, you'll say save. And then you'll say, don't allow him to change. So if it's a primary school, make all the passwords for all your students just password. Or give it the name of the school, St. John's. That's it. And now all of a sudden, that's how they can log in. But if you tick that and says, I want them to change their password after they log in the first time, you can tell everyone, log in with password, and then you have to change it. So the system will automatically prompt them. You don't have to do anything other than just turn on for yes. Now you can tell us, can I ask you to change all the passwords for everybody to just simple password or whatever name, your school's name, St. John as an example, or Malvern, or Springvale. You can create any password. You can tell us to create any password and we'll put it through everybody, and then we can turn on that they have to change it, or we can turn it off that they can't change it. And that's it. And that's all there is to adding a patron. If you want to take a photograph of the patron and have him appear on the circulation screen, why not get out your camera, photograph him, save it on your computer, then call up the patron, just go upload, and it'll come up here. Choose the image for that patron, go open, and now that image will appear here. That's how simple it is to add one photograph for one student. But if you go, yes, but we've got 900 students. Well, why not talk to us and we'll show you how you can very simply upgrade 900 photos with a couple of clicks, and then you just leave it alone and every photo will automatically get tied to the Patron record. So talk to us about that if you want to do it. Okay, now if you've created someone and they're a teacher, obviously you don't want to give them the role of a student, just get rid of it and choose the new role, and you can say that's a teacher. Now that you've given the role of a teacher and you've got an email address, why don't you email his login to them? He'll get a nice welcome letter and say, welcome, this is how the system works, and he'll get a little training video, and he'll also get the TV for Education button there, so he can start building his content and your content and adding to the school's digital collection. Quite incredible. Really, really good. Okay, that's how you add, change, or delete a patron record. If this patron record doesn't exist anymore or he's left the school, why don't you just go delete, and then it won't automatically delete it. You have to go, yes, I do want to delete it, and then he will get deleted out of the system. That's how simple it is to delete. But if I want to find a patron, just click on find, click on S, anyone starting with S, and it goes, here they all are, which one? And I go, this one. So you choose the one that you want, it'll bring their record up, change it, do whatever you want with it. Okay, you want to add a brand new one, just click on new, blank screen, fill it in. That's all there is to it. Okay. All right. The next thing we're going to deal with is catalog. How do I add a new catalog record? Now that you've learned to add patrons onto the system, we're going to teach you about catalog. So let me just go here, go down to catalog and go to catalog. And when you go down to the catalog screen, it will always come up with the last record you were working on. So let me just go back here and grab the very first record, which I know is a book, and let me grab that ISBN number, because let's pretend that you are working as a subscriber to SKIS. So I'm going to copy that. Okay, and if I want to add a new record, I'll just go new. I've only got one record, so it says, are you sure you want to get off this record? Yep, I do. So once you get off the record, if you go into new catalog and new, you get a blank screen. You can put in the title, ISBN number, the call number, the edition, whatever. Then go across to subjects and add the subjects. Go across to author, add the author. Go across to illustrator, add the illustrator. Go across to editor, add the editor. Go across to note. So you can fill in as much information as you want. Entirely up to you. And if you don't like the layout of this, and you say, yeah, I want basic, then I want additional title, then I want subject, then I want illustrator, then I want author, and then I want copies at the end. So if you want to change any of that, that's your settings tab. Click settings, and now you can click on the hand and move it to wherever you want it to be. Okay, and that's it. And then you just go save, and now that's the layout of the screen. But I only want to catalog one book. So zap in your ISBN number into the ISBN field with your barcode reader, or manually type it in, up to you. Once you zap it in, at least you know it's going to be correct. Then just hit this little button over here that says check it for me. When you click that, the system will go, it'll check SKIS, and it says this record has been successfully imported. Go OK, and there you go. We've just cataloged this record from SKIS. If I look at additional titles, that's the additional title. If I look at subjects, those are the subjects. Authors, series, there's no series in there. So if I go to notes, there's no notes on that. If I go to the editor, there's no editor. Publisher, there's the publisher. Genre, if there was one, would be there. Okay, so all the information is in here. Now all you need to do is select media type, because if I click save, it says media cannot be blank. So I will go and select the media type. Okay, so make sure you select the correct media type that you want to have it, and just go save, and that's it. You've just cataloged that entire record in a second, except I haven't put in the barcode. So where do I put all the holdings information, the barcode, the loan type, the renewal type, can it be reserved, all that information, who did I buy it from? So I just click on copy, and then in here, that's where you put in your barcode. Okay. Once you put in your barcode, copy status is available. You can put a call number. You can say it is actually going into the A7 staff room. The sublocation is the English area, and it is a fortnightly loan, and it is no renewal on that, and save. And that's all there is to adding a record manually. Simple as that. And if you don't want to delete, don't want a record, let's say you don't want this record, and let's say that it has 17 copies, but you don't want this record, it's finished, we're not using this anymore. You click on delete title, and then you have to type in yes, and it'll delete it, including all 17 copies. But you go, no, just this one copy. I want to delete this because this particular copy has been destroyed. The dog ate it. So you just expand it and go delete the copy, and this will only delete that copy. And I go, yep. And now what you have is you still have the basic book, but no copy information. Okay, you can add another copy if you want, but that's how you delete an individual barcode, as opposed to, no, we finished with this book, it's no longer required. So just go delete title, and you type in here that it's yes, I want to delete this book, and confirm yes. Now that record's gone. Okay, this record is the first record of the book, but that other record is gone. And the reason why I can tell it's the first record, because when I go to copy, there's all my different copies for this one. Okay, dozens and dozens and dozens of barcodes, but the original record's gone. So I now want to find a book I need to work on. So just click on find, and then in the search area type in cat, search everywhere. So I can do a search and it'll bring up everything, or I can say no, not all fields, I only want the title. So I can go down and specifically choose title starts with cat, and then do a search, and that'll give you all the books with cat in it. And you can go, yep, it's starting with cat, C-A-T. So that's why I've got cathedral and catching. So that's the book I wanted. Okay, and now I can work on that book. So we've gone on to how to add a new record, delete a record, find a record, so I can go ahead and then do changes to that particular record, like adding a new copy. Okay, really simple. Long-winded way, but simple. But I don't want a catalog that way. I want a SKIS catalog. Okay, now on the basic screen, before you were able to use this button, it's assuming that your SKIS was already set up on the system. So to set up your SKIS system the first time, the very first time you ever go on, click on the menu, click on the catalog, go to global catalog. Okay, and in global catalog, on the bottom right hand side, the configuration, and there's an up arrow. Click on that, Z3950 databases, and in your Z3950 databases, you put in your username and you put in your barcode, and then you update or save it. Once that's done, you then need to also set up what kind of spine labels you're going to use. Click on the up arrow, go to default spine labels, and then choose the spine label you're going to use, hit the save button, and then exit out, and then go back into global cataloging after you've done all those changes, for all those changes to be picked up again. So click on global catalog, all the new parameters get loaded, and now what you do is, let's say I've got 100 books to catalog. I've got fiction books, non-fiction books, picture books, teacher reference book. Group them according to those groupings. Once you group them according to the groupings, set up all the holdings informations, like the location for the fiction, the sublocation, the loan period, renewal period. Once you've done that all for the fiction, then in here, zap in the ISBN number and then zap in the barcode. Okay, and you hit it with your barcode, and then this will clear. You'll put in the next ISBN, next barcode, next ISBN, next barcode, next ISBN, next barcode, next ISBN, next barcode. You just keep doing that, and then when that's finished for your fiction, then go and change all these parameters again. Just change them all again. And once you've changed those parameters, then you will go next ISBN barcode, ISBN barcode, ISBN barcode, ISBN barcode, ISBN barcode, ISBN barcode. Then you go, oh, now I got to do my picture books. So fill in all these details again for the picture books. Then you would go I spin barcode, I spin barcode, I spin barcode, I spin barcode, I spin barcode. And as you keep doing that, it will apply all of this and import all of the records. And you can do 100 books in about maybe 7 minutes, 5 minutes, depending how fast you can zap those numbers in there. Okay? And it's in, that's it. You don't have to do anything else. It's all done. Cataloged, barcode allocated, everything. But you say, yes, but what about the spine labels? Because you've already set up your default spine labels over here, you don't have to worry. You just click print and it will print all the 100 spine labels out in exactly the same order that you put in the catalog. So if you've cataloged 100 books, the very first spine label will be the first book and the second book and the third book and so forth and so on. Peel them off, stick them on the book, and that's the end of it. So cataloging 100 books, piece of cake. Very, very easy. Okay. Now, if you want to circulate, okay, you need to have patrons in the system. So you just go down here, go to Patron and go to Patron Management. Remember, I told you how to put them in there. Every patron must be in a class grade because the class grade determines the borrowing parameter. You go, what borrowing parameter? This is a staff. So I'd say, oh, what about 11? So what's the 11's borrowing parameter? Or what's the 7's borrowing parameter? Easy. All you need to do, click on the menu, go down to configuration, go down to the authority editor, and that's where all the borrowing parameters for every individual class grade is. So when you click on that, it's going to bring up the authority file and it's going to bring it up alphabetic order. And that's why audience is first. Click on that and you go class grade, right? So I can also go here for all the other authority files. Absolutely yes. You can update them on the fly in the catalog or wherever, but you can come here, class grade. There's all my class grades. So if I don't have a class grade, I can put it in there, hit the plus, and then when it comes up here, so if I want to find out the borrowing parameters for year 12, you just click on that and you'll say, what's the security code? What's the final borrowing date? What's the expiry date? How many books can they borrow? How long can they borrow for? How many times they can renew? How many items? What the renewal period for is? How many they can reserve? Can they take multiple copies of the same item? Can they override? You put all that information in, and let's say you have 400 students in year 12. When you click that button, within 1 second, every one of those 400 students are now going to be updated with these new parameters. Okay? So once all that is in, if you want to circulate, easy. Click on here. Go down to circulation, and just type in their barcode. So you can put in their barcode in here. That's their barcode. Or you can put in their name, Mike, and all the mics will come up. Choose which one you want. Or you can type in M for Mike, and it'll bring up anyone that has M for Mike in any area. Okay. Or you can type in their surname, Smith. So you can check out either with their barcode, with their surname, first name, and when you bring them up, then you just zap in all the barcodes of the books that you want to borrow out to them in the same spot. Okay, first barcode, next barcode, next barcode, that's how you do. Anyone that has overdues, it's in red. Okay, if you want to return books, just click on return, just zap them all in. That's the bucket of books. Just zap in all the barcodes up here. And, oh, the kids have come in, go back to loans and just carry on business as usual. Okay. Now, if he complains to you that he hasn't got that book out on loan, or can you send me an email about that? Go, sure. So where it says please choose, go overdue items and then press that button to run the report. And that will produce an overdue report for you. Okay. You don't have to do anything. It just comes up. And then you can print it, okay, or you can email it. So if you click email, all right, you'll put in their email address in here, and then you'll go send now. And that's how they'll get their emails. Simple as that. But you might be in a situation where Mike Smith says, I'm leaving, I'm going away next Tuesday, and I'm not coming back ever. You might say, how about I give you a list of your current loans? And then run that report. and that will give you the report of everything he's got on loan, including all the overdues. You don't have to do anything. There's all his loans, and just go email or print it. Okay, so it's really, really easy to do all of that from the circulation screen. If you want to change any of his details, clicking on the title on his name will take you to the patron record. Clicking on the title will take you to the catalog record, and then you can change anything you want and do anything you like with the catalog record or the patron record. That's how easy it is. Okay, if he said, I returned that book, you just put a tick in there and go claim return, and then that will just flag that book that he claimed returned. It'll go, instead of red, it'll go brown, and every time you call him up, that book will show. It won't give you an error. It'll just say, just letting you know he kind of claimed he returned this, and you can go. And because if he claimed he also returned high risk, you go, yes, but hang on, Mike, you claimed you returned this one and this one and this one. So it'll tell you and keep you updated every time you bring his record up. Of course, if he said he claimed returned it and then someone else checked it in or check it out, it will remove all those messages from his account. Okay, circulation, really simple. If you want to do overdues, that's even more simple. So click on the menu, click on the reports, and go reports. And that's how you will bring it up. So I just want to go class grade 12. So if I go to reports and I go, all right, I'm going to run the overdue reports. Okay, so I will go to overdues by classification. Okay, and then go open. And class grade is, he's a year 12. That's all you need to do. Don't worry about any other parameters. Just go generate. Okay, and that'll give you Mike Smith. Okay, and home group 11C has that book, and the student called student in class grade 08 has Judy Moody. Okay, and they're all in year 12. And now I can print that. We can do a whole bunch of other fancy stuff where you never ever have to send an overdue to a homeroom teacher. They can get it automatically by email as and when it's necessary. You can also set it up so that the student gets overdues if it's 30 days. If it's 60 days or 45 days or 90 days over, they get letter 2. If it's 120 days, the parents also get an email. And if it's over 180 days, they get an invoice. We can do all of those things for you very simply, and it can be automated. So generating overdues is a thing of the past with SmartSuite. You do not need to go there ever again if it's set up as automatic. Thank you very much for addressing in a very short time space, 30 minutes, giving you an insight on how to add, change, delete patrons, add, change, delete catalog records, how to circulate, how to mark things as lost or claimed return, and how to do overdues. Thank you very much.